can figure out how old I am. Old. In fact, I'm the oldest one on the committee now. That was a rude awakening. Thank you, Chuck Adams, for retiring. Make me the oldest one now. Anyway, I would like to give some thanks to the people and to the businesses that help us present this program every year. This is 34 out of 36 years that this has been going. We took 2021 and 2022 off because of COVID. So otherwise, this would be the 36th one instead of the 34th. We started in 1991 because that was Northeast's 50th anniversary. So that's the year that was selected to start the induction program. Would like to thank the following businesses. Fire Spring business that made the booklets and the tickets. Hadlock Social Hall, Mitch and Becky Salinger, who now own this business, and thank them for their hospitality. They always have good food here. I don't know if either one of them are back there, but we do appreciate them. Awards Unlimited for the plaques, and Cindy Hennon for the placemats. I'd like to introduce the committee members too, so if you would please stand when I call your name, and they're not listed here in any particular order. And if I can get the page open. You know, when you get old, your hands get dry and you can't do anything. It is what it is. So, Lori Adams, Carrie Amon, Jeff Buss, Andy Jansen, Clayton Heath, Mike Hosick, myself, Jeff Pierce, Mark Runyon, Greg Techmeyer, and Cindy Terrell Henry. Each year, I always say, well, this is probably going to be my last year. But then something happens that makes me come back. And I can tell you that most of it is getting, my job basically is to find all the team members of the teams we are inducting. And it takes a lot of telephoning and help from other people. I would like to especially thank Chuck Biggs from the 73 baseball team. You can stick your hand up so they know who we are. He was very helpful in finding, we found all of the baseball players. And the 61 team, we found, well, several of them are deceased because, you know, 1961, let's face it, we're a little older then, but you either got an invitation or you were deceased. So I found everybody. And it's been a lot of fun talking with some of the players. I know I've been on the phone with a couple of them for like over an hour, just visiting and, you know, that sort of thing. So it kind of makes me come back every year. And plus, since I'm one of the older ones, I know some of the people from way back when. And these younger people would not know how to find them, and I still do. So it is what it is. Dignitaries in the audience, we have the AD from Northeast. Jeff Pierce is the assistant AD, and he's on the committee, so I've mentioned him, but Matt Uher is here tonight. Where are you? And our newest principal, Liz Cook Miller. She's here too. I've known Liz since she was a baby. And I have to tell this on you. But my husband Jerry was always a big fan of Liz's when she became an administrator, and he would tell her, "You need to be the principal at Northeast." Well, it's finally come to pass, and I can tell you that Jerry would very much appreciate this, knowing this. So we're glad to have you back in your old school. Also would like to mention, and this is where, if I'm going to foul up, this is where it's going to be. Because I may miss somebody, and if I do, please let me know. But we would like to introduce former inductees that have come here tonight. And so when I call your name, if you would stand, I would appreciate it. We go clear back to 1993. Now remember, this started in 1991. But from the class of 1993, Karen Moore Pepmuller. I know you're here. Please stand. And from the class of 1996, Earl Wright. You would stand. 1999, Kim Grabowski is here. Let's see, next page. Class of 2002, Chuck Biggs. And let's see, I gotta go to the next page here. From the class of 2009, Terry Young. And a couple more here. From 2019, Dan Jackson. And from 2023, Andy Jansen, who is also on the committee. We appreciate you coming back. Also, we have the Wall of Honor. There's some people here from that, and that's Sheila Limert, if you would stand, and Chuck Adams, and myself, but I'm already standing, so that's not a problem. With that, we will go ahead and get on to our regular program. I'd like to introduce to you our Master of Ceremonies, who is an Assistant AD at Northeast, and he is Jeff Pierce. So Jeff, take it away. Did I miss anybody on that? Yes! I did. Okay, good. I worry about that every year. I'm going to forget somebody. So I did. Good. Have fun.
Thank you, Marcia. I want to first start out and say thank you to everybody for braving these cold temperatures tonight to be here. Some of you traveled a long ways and those things, but you can feel it in this room. When I walked in tonight, you could just feel the energy. And tonight's about a lot of stories, a lot of things that have happened in your lives. Just sit back and those things that go through your head tonight. We want to make sure that when we recognize everybody that you come back and remember that feeling of the meaning of what it means once rocket. That is the most important thing. Up here, being the MC tonight, to know the people that I'm following with Barry Moore, who started that, Ed Moeller and Jeff Motes, pretty big shoes up here. So tonight, when we go through, if you'll give everybody your best with this. But I'd like to start out tonight when we talk about spirit, and we talk about all those things. The high school experience is something for everybody. I wish there were more kids in our building that would actually get to an event and feel what it feels like. You sitting out here, you've got a little different vantage point than some of these others. But tonight, our first recipient in the Hall of Honor, Curtis Clegg. Curtis embodies the spirit at many Northeast events, and I've heard stories tonight about football, basketball, volleyball, baseball games, in which during his time at Northeast and after even he graduated, he'd show up to practices, he would encourage players and coaches, as long as he didn't get in trouble from coaches with interrupting practice. But at the same time, his fondest memories of Northeast was being with the Rockets surrounded by the pep squad, the band, the fellow students on the team, and celebrating all those wins. On becoming a member tonight of the Hall of Honor, he first said, "I'm surprised and honored." He's told me tonight he was ready to get this rolling here. Would you please welcome Curtis Clegg into the Hall of Honor here in Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame. As we go through the presentation tonight, each person will have the opportunity to speak right here, and then they'll move to the left so we can get a picture. Curtis, the microphone is yours.
Of course. You get for the Rockabilly class of 1980, guys. All the memories from me up here. Sometimes I think all my high school friends are over there. I can remember long time for me, long time. Always thinking about the little things like my friends over there and all my classmates I haven't seen for years. Go Rockets! Go
Every high school wishes they had a high number of multi-sport athletes. It's not common for a student to excel in multiple things. However, tonight, in 1983, we had somebody, I don't think he's in attendance tonight, but I'd like to recognize Matt Holt. Matt, there we go. Matt was a multi-sport athlete at Northeast, excelling in football and swimming. Holt earned 3 letters in football and 3 in swimming. He earned all-city and all-state honors his senior year when he was selected to participate in the Shrine Bowl. He holds school records for interceptions in the season with 10 and holds the career record for tackles with 303. After Northeast, Matt attended UNL, earning a bachelor's degree in economics. He earned a master's degree in information system from Valley State University. He spent 30 years in the U.S. Army, initially serving in the air defense, missile officer in Germany, transitioning into communications as a signal officer in 1992. He was quoted, he said, "A moment that stands out was the 1982 state football championship game. What a year for the team. We fought the entire season as an undersized underdog only to defy the odds and make it to the state championship game. Unfortunately, we got trounced by Omaha Westside, but Lincoln Northeast made it to the state football championship." And Matt also has all those great memories of his friends, his coaches, and teams that he played on. On how athletics influenced his life, he stated, "Athletics were instrumental in shaping my early leadership, perseverance, teamwork, and physical fitness, all of which contributed directly to my life's success professionally and personally." Please, if you'll give a round of applause for Matt Holt. In staying with that team, and ironically, we're going to recognize somebody else in his family, and I'm hoping she'll say something on behalf of her brother as well. But in 1986, we had another multi-sport athlete who happens to be in that family. Imagine a year where you, in a grueling track meet season, where you excel every single day, and all the things that go along with that. Lynda Holt earned 5 letters participating in swimming and track at Lincoln Northeast. As a sophomore, she placed in every track meet throwing the shot put. She was an all-city, all-conference, and all-state selection. Lynda placed second at the state track meet by beating her personal best over a foot on her final throw. If anybody's been to a track meet, it's hard to even get a half inch sometimes, but by a foot, that's an amazing, amazing feat. Her junior year, she got first in every track meet and scored the most points for the entire girls' track team. She won a gold medal at the state track meet. She again earned first team all-city, all-conference, and all-state honors. And as a swimmer, she made it to the state in the 50-meter individual freestyle and made the finals at the state 4x1 freestyle relay. As a senior, she placed first again in every track meet and was a first team again all-city, all-state, and all-conference selection. She set a school record that she held for about 10 years. After Northeast, Lynda earned an associate's degree from computer programming from Kirkwood Community College, and she earned a bachelor's degree in business management from Mount Mercy University and a master's in organizational leadership from St. Ambrose University, and she's now a certified professional leadership coach. On how athletics influenced her life, she says, I credit being an athlete from childhood and having brothers who were athletes to help me build confidence, learn to work as a team, and see and desire those things not in a coach and a leader. Develop friendships, learn how to win and lose with grace, channel my competitive spirit, and share a common passion with my family members and friends. On becoming a member of the Hall of Fame, she said, I'm very honored, especially to be along my brother Matt. I think that's an incredible way to honor his legacy of some amazing athletes as well and teams that have given the Rockets a name over the years. I'm humbled and grateful to have my name alongside theirs. Please welcome Lynda Holt to the Lincoln Northeast Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much. And I'm really sorry that my brother couldn't be here too. He really wanted to be. He had a trip planned already, and it was one of those things, and he just said, represent. So I said, okay. No, it was great. I love Northeast. We had so much fun. And one of the things that's pretty cool is that another honoree that you're going to meet later tonight is actually the brother of my best friend from high school. So it was really nice that we're all together tonight. So, but some of my greatest memories from Northeast, honestly, and Steph just reminded me of this tonight, was that you could do anything that you wanted. You didn't have to be just an athlete, you didn't have to be just a musician, you didn't have to be in the clubs, you didn't have to be an academic. We were all friends, and we all hung out together. And I got to do a lot of those things. Music was a big part of my life at Northeast. Some of my best memories were show choir and Meister Singers, band, marching band. Some of my best friends were Star Strutters, and I did the sports as well. So I think it was great to grow up going to a school where you didn't have to be in one specific, I'll say clique. We all got along really well. The hardest thing about Northeast was probably following my brothers, honestly. Every day of school was, are you related to Mark and Matt Holt? And I'm like, that depends. So, no, it was a great experience, and I'm very honored to be here tonight and appreciate all of this. I haven't lived in the city of Lincoln for 30 years, so it's a lot of fun to be back here again, and I just appreciate it. And thank you.
1998, an exciting year. I wish last night for all of you that were able to attend the basketball game, we got a message from our pep band that they wouldn't be there last night due to the cold weather and school not being in session. But for many years, the Ed Johnson gym, the old yellow gym as well, were packed, all kinds of things through the 90s. Games were full, not only the things that happened at Class A notice, but all across the state. 4 consecutive state titles for basketball, and tonight our next inductee played a huge part of this. I look at this as something, and on a personal note, I remember when I was teaching at Mickle at the time, I had a class that every night when Northeast was in the state tournament, my kids would say, Mr. Pierce, Can we make posters? Can we make signs? Our inductee, Johnny Bell, you probably don't know this until now, but you had a fan club in my classroom. They used to argue about who used to make yours to take to the game. But tonight, Johnny Bell was a basketball standout for the Rockets. His senior year, he earned Class A Super State, third-team honors, Class All-State second-team honors, and a first-team All-City selection. He was chosen as a member of the NCAA All-Star team. After Northeast, Johnny attended Doane College, where he played basketball and earned a degree in mass communications. After college, he worked for the Salvation Army Community Center in summer camp and an after-school worker before becoming a para at Park Middle School. In 2008, he began at Northeast and helped coach the boys basketball team, and in 2012, Johnny earned a teaching certificate from Doane College. He's currently teaching now at Bryan Community. Johnny noted that one of his fondest memories, though, was being part of that 4P, in which I alluded to earlier, and also all the things that went along with that. With that being said, a single event that stands out to him was during the first round of the state tournament in his senior year. It was tied going into the final seconds, and I tipped in a rebound at the buzzer to win the game and advance the team. On becoming a member of the Hall of Fame, he says, I've been lucky to be a part of Northeast after I graduate in teaching and working and coaching, and now my daughter is part of the Northeast community as well. Please welcome Johnny Bell to the Northeast Athletic.
All right, well, thank you very much. I want to clarify something from Lynda. She had the honor to babysit me when I was younger. Right? My sister was 12 years older, she had the honor. So if she says anything other than that, she's lying. I want to say congratulations to the rest of the Hall of Fame inductees tonight. It is kind of an honor. I have seen a few of the younger ones when I worked at Northeast, so I'm aware of them, and I knew Lynda, and so I've been around, and my dad graduated in 72, so knew a lot of the 73 team. We've been around Northeast our whole life. My dad was a 72 graduate, my sister was 85, my nieces and nephews both all graduated from Northeast. We are a Northeast family, and I don't think I would have went anywhere else. We live right behind East High School right now, and I told my daughter, you can go to East if you want to, but there is zero chance I'll ever wear blue. She made the right choice and went to Northeast, thank goodness. But I want to thank the coaches. None of them are here tonight, but one thing that stuck out the most when we were in high school is the coaches that we had. Coach Kalura obviously got all the accolades. He wore the pink sweater, he got his name in the paper. But it was the other coaches that really made the program excel. Doug Kaltenberger, who was a huge mentor to me before he passed away. He was one of the reasons why I got into teaching and got into coaching. I remember him as a coach. He pushed me to my limits, but he made me probably one of the best players that I could have ever been. Pat Gatzmeyer, who is now the athletic director at Lincoln High, I played for him as a freshman, and we went undefeated, which I broke my wrist the day before tryout, so I got put on freshman. At the time, I thought, oh man, I really failed. But we had 120 kids try out my freshman year for basketball, and that's a lot different. And they only kept, I think, 17 freshmen, 17 or 18 freshmen. So to have a chance to be on that was great, but freshman year we went undefeated, and I think I really learned the game of basketball and how to play at the high school level. And then Rex Mercer was somebody that spent a lot of time in my life. Dave Mercer and I, along with Mikey Hahn and Justin Herzl, all grew up from kindergarten all the way up to high school, and we played sports. And Dave and Mikey, who are also in the Northeast Hall of Fame, we played together, and we got to experience the state championships together as friends, which nowadays you don't see that. There are so many kids and youth that don't play with their kids in the neighborhood. They're playing in sports teams with kids all around. So the chance that we had to play together all growing up was really remarkable. I want to thank my family, my sister, my Aunt Joni, who is here tonight. She was at almost every single game. My sister was the Star Strutter coach at the time, so she was at the games all the time. I want to thank my parents as well. My mom, who passed away 3 years ago, would have loved to have been here. Unfortunately, she is not here, but I guarantee she's looking down on us. But I want to thank her. She spent a lot of time in the kitchen making meals, making sure I was two places and stuff. Now, as a parent of a daughter who plays volleyball, basketball, and softball, we take for granted what our parents did for us back in the day. So without my mom, I don't think I would have gotten a lot of places. I also want to thank my dad. If you remember, Kalura was never an easy person to play for. And there was a lot of frustrating times through my sophomore and junior year, but my father was always there, and he never made any excuses for me. He just said, you need to play harder. If you want playing time, you know what you need to do. And getting into coaching and stuff like that, it really meant a lot to me that that's what it was. He didn't give me a reason, an out of quitting or transferring. He told me to stick it out. But the fondest memory I do have was that state tournament, but really all 4 years of high school basketball. I still talk to quite a few of the guys from the team. We've made a lot of connections, and being a part of that was to be able to win the last game every year you were in high school was truly remarkable. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate the committee. Thank you for inducting me this year, and go Rockets.
We kind of have a theme here tonight of strong multi-sport athletes, and 1999 was no exception. Having the opportunity personally to work with this inductee in high school, I can say point blank, she was never afraid to back down from a challenge and always gave it her best no matter what day. Lisa Folsom was a two-sport athlete at Northeast. She earned 6 letters, 4 in softball and 2 in basketball. In softball, she was a 3-time All-City selection. As a senior, Lisa earned all-conference honors and was an all-state honorable mention. She was a Seratoma Award winner and earned multiple academic all-conference awards. After graduation, Lisa attended UNL, earning a degree in business administration, and she spent 23 years working for the USDA as she now lives in Fort Collins, Colorado. The friendships that Lisa built with several teammates is what she remembers most about high school. Today, I still connect with many of them, even though we're states away. Between my mom and pictures, they were in abundance. It has been 26 years since high school, and those pictures bring back the games, the events, the shenanigans, and memories that continue to be cherished today. My best off-the-court sports memory, I thought this was very interesting, was when the varsity basketball team had a sleepover, which included actual boxing matches between players, mostly positional players who were competing for similar starting spots. To say it allowed us to vent some frustrations from the court and create some tight bonds is an understatement. Earning a varsity letter as a freshman is a moment that stands out for her. On becoming a member of the Hall of Fame, Lisa said, "It's a pleasant surprise and a nice acknowledgement of the athlete I was during my younger years. The mid to late 1990s were stacked with athletic success, and I'm happy to be in the mix. High school athletics bring back a flood of memories, emotions, both good and challenging, and looking back, I learned a lot during these years, even though I was a know-it-all teenager with an attitude to boot." Please welcome Lisa Folsom to the Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Coach Pierce. I wrote something down, y'all, so bear with me. First, I'd like to start off by thanking the Athletic Hall of Fame committee, and I'm old, so I need glasses. Apologies. I'd like to thank you all for the acknowledgement and induction. The notification came as a bit of surprise, and the flood of emotions and 27 plus years all came roaring back. A lot has happened since graduating from high school in 1999, and my athletic pursuits didn't stop. In my younger years, I was always involved with sports. I fell in love with softball, volleyball, and basketball. The female athletes in my age bracket were impressive, heightened the game level, and increased the competitive drive. Middle school athletics were lights out, and we were quite simply destroying the competition. Moving into Northeast High School, we still held the competitive edge and gained some more amazing athletes. I shifted gears to 2 sports only, softball and basketball. I had the privilege of learning under 2 softball coaches at Northeast, Donna Ho and Eamon. One is here today. Securing 4 letters and multiple accolades, it proved I was a competitor, and oh how I loved softball. 2 more letters and a bit more accolades came my way in the sport of basketball, but this sport came with some challenges. I leaned on my teammates to get me through. These challenges ultimately helped mold and strengthen my mind for my current passion of Olympic weightlifting, which I'll mention soon. My fondest memory of high school athletics is one that I believe is quite uncommon and off the court. As mentioned briefly, the 1998-99 basketball season brought tough competition, a deep connection to some, and lots of frustration. A team sleepover turned into an actual boxing match with gloves, headgear, sweat, sore muscles, and a sense of camaraderie. My chosen boxing competitor was the gal trying to take my starting spot. It was a fun night. A VHS exists somewhere in this world of that night, but pictures from that evening are kept close to my heart. And speaking of pictures, I must give a moment of gratitude to my mom, Sherry Adams, for the countless pictures, newspaper clippings, and award preservation organized and protected in ginormous scrapbooks that take up much space in my Colorado home. Shifting gears to graduation from Northeast. I had the opportunity to play on the University of Nebraska softball team. However, I would have to sit a year. My immature ego at the time didn't allow sitting, and I ultimately closed the door on my softball career. Looking back, this is one of my biggest regrets and a pivotal point in my life. However, this new path brought some amazing things. Shortly after turning 21 and while attending college, I married my high school sweetheart, Lynda Holt, with whom I started dating when I was a sophomore in 1997 at Northeast. Lynda and I will celebrate 24 years married in June. A couple months after our wedding, I started a career with the federal government and still serve the American people within the realms of the United States Department of Agriculture. This path also brought me an incredible and now fully grown son, Caden. Caden is in his freshman year of college, recruited as a pitcher for baseball at a JUCO in Kansas. After high school athletics, sports completely stopped for several years, but slowly crept back in. A dabble in recreation, softball, and basketball slowly ignited the fire again. It wasn't until I was 34 years old that I was introduced to Olympic weightlifting by my CrossFit coach. If you're not familiar with the sport, Olympic weightlifting is 2 specific barbell movements, and no, this is not bodybuilding. I found that I was matching or outlifting several men in the gym. In fall 2015, I attended my first oldie meet in Denver, Colorado, and I was hooked. A few short months later, I competed in my first weightlifting meet, the Colorado State Championships, and I won gold for my age and body weight. I've taken gold at the state championships every year since then. I'm frankly addicted to the sport. I secured my USA weightlifting coaches certification in 2020, and I've channeled what I learned from my Northeast coaches into helping others achieve greatness through a different and specialized sport. Since 2016, I've competed in 28 competitions, both local, national, and international, and have medaled at 28 of those 31 competitions. My biggest achievement thus far in my athletic career is taking third place in my body weight and age at the International Masters World Championships in 2022 and again this last September in 2025. I also took first place in the International World Super Total, which added a deadlift into the mix. I'm not stopping anytime soon with my athletic career, and my eyes are set on besting my third place in the world. Age is just a number, right? High school laid the foundation for an athletic lifestyle for me. It set the tone for not just continuing to be an athlete, but pushing mental and physical boundaries that one might believe stops following high school or college. I'd like to thank my family members here today, as each of you have played a role, little or big, in helping shape who I am today. I know that I have a big support system behind me, which hasn't stopped since graduating high school. To my person since 1997, Lanum baby, you know me better than anyone in this world, and I've never wavered in your love or support. I'd like to think the 1996-1997 Northeast softball team poster did it in when the team posed on a fire truck. My firefighter husband has been by my side through everything since high school, and I thank you. Lastly, congratulations to my fellow inductees, and my wish is that even in our growing age, you find a passion that keeps you moving and challenged. Thank you.
Our next inductee is unable to be here tonight, but I want to mention that Nebraska football around the year 2000 was at near a pinnacle point in their program's history, that in the late 90s. As heading forward, our next inductee had the opportunity to wear the red and white in place of the black and white, but represent the Rockets. Justin Lanum was a football standout for Northeast, earning 3 letters, and during his career, he earned All-City, All-Conference, All-State, and Super State honors. He was selected to the Shrine Bowl. Upon graduating, Justin walked on to play football for Nebraska, and he ended up attending UNL for a year before continuing his education at Southeast Community College. Setting the school record for squats is one of its fondest memories while at Northeast, and also getting a phone call from Coach Dan Young at the time asking to walk on at Nebraska is another important moment for him. Athletics have taught me how to maintain a healthy lifestyle and the importance of teamwork. Justin enjoys lifting weights and watching football. It's an honor to be part of these inductees with these great Northeast athletes. Please welcome Justin Lanum to the Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame. Our next inductee in 2012, if anyone here has not been to a swim meet before, it is intense. From start to finish, it literally hundredths of a second can define one's career. But the next important inductee, as far as the things they did in their career, took it to the next level, as Northeast was represented on even a higher stage. Mollie McNeel excelled at swimming for the Rockets, and as a sophomore, she won the state championship in the 500 freestyle and set a school record. Her time for the race continues to rank among the top 10 fastest female swimmers in Nebraska high school history. Mollie also swam the butterfly leg of the relay team that broke and still holds the school's 200 medley relay record. Throughout her career, Mollie earned All-City, including honorary captain, all-conference, and all-state honors. After graduating, Mollie attended Western Kentucky University to continue her swimming career. Mollie spent 3 years there before transferring to Iowa State, and the swimming program at that time was cut. During her time in college, she earned a top 6 podium finish in 2 NCAA conferences, a Western Kentucky University record in the mile, and Swimmer of the Year at Iowa State. Mollie's fondest memories of high school include winning the state championship in the 500 freestyle. She said, "I started swimming competitively at the age of 5, and over the years I became a distance swimmer specializing in the 1,000 and the mile. Since those events aren't offered in the high school swimming, I always debated whether to compete for my school or focus on training for longer events that would matter more in college for recruitment. Ultimately, I decided to swim 1 year for the Lincoln Northeast team, and that decision led to an unforgettable season capped by a state title and 2 Northeast records. What makes it even more meaningful is knowing that as of 2024, my gold medal is the last individual state championship for Lincoln Northeast, and I still keep an eye on those athletic programs, hoping the drought ends soon. Being inducted to the Lincoln Northeast Hall of Fame is an honor. It's not just about championship and the records, it's about the journey and everything I learned along the way. My time at Northeast wasn't always easy, but it pushed me to grow, persevere, and become my own advocate. This recognition feels like the full circle moment that shows even a non-traditional path can leave a lasting mark. I'm proud of the part of the Lincoln Northeast legacy and hope it inspires future Rockets to chase their goals no matter the obstacles. Please welcome Mollie McNeel to the Lincoln Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame.
I did attend journalism school for my master's, so I did what I do best, and I wrote my story. But it's quick, I promise. I want to start out by saying thank you so much for this honor. It's surreal to finally be standing here tonight as part of the Lincoln Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame. In 2010, I became a state champion in the 500 free. That win was also a school record, and it still stands as one of the top 10 fastest times in Nebraska high school history for that event. At the time, I didn't realize just how defining that season of high school swimming would become. But looking back, I can really see how it shaped the entire course of my life. To be completely honest, my high school years weren't really the picture-perfect experience you hear about at these events. I only swam for Northeast for 1 season, and the truth is I didn't feel like I always belonged. I was bullied, I was underestimated, and a lot of days I felt like I was swimming upstream in more ways than one. I have to say, the adults who should have been there looking out for me didn't always step in. And that, more than anything, was a disappointment and a lesson that sometimes you have to be your own advocate. But here's the thing, that experience lit a fire in me. Instead of breaking me, it drove me to look forward and not back. After graduation, I left Lincoln and continued my academic and athletic careers at Division I Western Kentucky University. As you just heard, there I set the record in the mile, and just like my record in the 500 here, that one still stands today. So in a strange way, the hard days here became the push that I needed to keep moving forward. Swimming taught me a lot about resilience, about getting in the water, putting in the work, even when you don't feel like it, about learning how to tune out the noise around you and focus on the lane in front of you, and about how sometimes the biggest motivators in life aren't always the cheers, but the doubts. So while my path as a rocket may not have looked traditional, it still mattered. That one season gave me the chance to wear these colors, to represent this school, and to prove what was possible. And now, years later, I stand here proud to be recognized for those achievements. They say once a rocket, always a rocket, and for me, that wasn't always easy to hear. But tonight, standing here, I do realize that it's true. Not because every memory was always good, but because every experience helped to launch me forward. And for that, I will always be grateful. So thank you, and go Rockets.
In 2012, another Rocket multi-sport athlete took the stage, going from a team-oriented sport to competing individually as well as on a team. But part of getting there was conquering the road on Tuzlin. Ashton Steckelberg was a two-sport athlete for the Rockets, excelling in softball and track, earning 8 letters. She was an all-city and all-conference selection in softball. As a senior, she placed second in the Class A 100-meter hurdles and a third-place finisher in the 300-meter hurdles. Ashton holds school records in the 55-meter hurdles, 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, and the 4x400 relay. After high school, Ashton attended Nebraska Wesleyan to continue her track career, and by the end of her career, she had 2/3 of the hurdle records and was a Division III All-American. In 2016, Ashton won the Division III 400-meter national championship. Her fondest memories aren't the games or the races specifically, but more of the people that I spent time with. It's the memories on the bus rides to the game, the softball sleepovers, memories sitting in the track tents awaiting race times, and all the hard practices. A memory for me that comes back up every time I see the road sign is the dreaded Tuzlin Avenue workout. Coach Schroer, hurdles coach, had his hurdlers compete the dreaded Tuzlin workout once a year. It was the day we all hated. I remember every time feeling like I was near exhaustion, not only from the workout, but also from the laughter and the talking with Jordan Heiser, Justin Murr, and Devin Edwards. On becoming a member of the Northeast Hall of Fame, I was just a small town kid from Malcolm with a dream to play college softball at the time. Class A softball and track was very intimidating at first, but it made me work harder. Being placed on the Northeast Hall of Fame means looking back, and I made the right decision. A decision to leave my friends at Malcolm to pursue a passion, and it went without fail. It means I can honor my parents who spent countless hours driving me to school, practices, all of the money they spent on me in order to pursue greater heights in athletics, and without them, I would not be able to receive this award. Would you please welcome Ashton Steckelberg to the Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you all. I think Johnny Bell said it best. We really don't look back and think about all this support that our parents made for us. As a kid, you take it for granted. You take for granted all the car rides, all the time spent on the sidelines. For me, making that decision to leave Malcolm didn't have a softball program for high school, so I thought Lincoln was my ticket, and my parents supported me. My brother stayed at Malcolm, and looking back, I don't know how you guys did it. You had 2 kids in 2 very different school systems, so I'm so grateful for everything that you guys did for me. I'm grateful for the friends that I made. There's 3 of them that are sitting out there. So Northeast provided me with memories that I'll take forever. And my husband who supported me since the age of 16. So again, I'm so grateful. And once a rocket, always a rocket. Thank you.
We have a couple teams tonight we would like to introduce and put into the Hall of Fame. But to start out, in 1961, it was a time where sports really was taking off, and Northeast, I've done a little bit of history, started really kind of launching in a lot of different things. Not to say that there wasn't success prior, but in many sports, the difference between winning and losing can be decided in a fraction of an inch. In the 1961 baseball season, the team was so close to raising a banner. It was a very memorable season, and one that came down literally to the last out. With a record the prior season of 4-4, the team returned 9 lettermen, 1 at each position, kind of a unique time. The opening game of the season was canceled by Omaha Cathedral, and the second game they lost to Lincoln High 10-3. Victory came in the charmed third try with a win over Southeast 10-9 on April 26th and later in the season. And as the season moved along, they got to the state tournament. During that time, during the semifinals, the Rockets defeated Omaha Holy Name 11-2, and in the finals, Lincoln Southeast had to come from behind on a triple to beat the Rockets 5-3 in extra innings. Skip Peterson and Earl Wright were named All-City, as there was not an All-State at that time for any awards. I'd like to introduce all of the team members, as I do, if they will all come forward, and at that time you'll have one of your teammates, Earl Wright, will speak for you. But the team members are Dean Anderson, Luke Cox, Stan Grell, Melvin Hester, Larry Hubka, Gene Jeffries, Dave Lebsack, Sidney McCartney, Stephen McMullen, Skip Peterson, Mickey Storr, Les Terrell, Earl Wright, managers Harold Connolly, James Mason, and head coach Barry Moore. Please welcome the 1961 state runner-up baseball team to the Lincoln Vikings.
Thank you. You got the picture? Thank you. The 61 team was did not try out with 115 different players trying to in 61, if you showed up, you made the team. And the neat thing about that was that the coach we had was remarkable. His daughter was here this evening. Barry Moore was one of those people that not only was an important part of our lives, but he was a character builder. Barry did not yell. He did not do there was no profanity. He was an absolute example of what we would want to be as we grew into our adulthood and as we became fathers and married gentlemen, etc. I remember Barry, I think so much of this is really deeply important. Barry, what is it? Fingo bath, what is it he had? He hit the pop flies. Fungo bath. Anyway, Barry hit pop flies at the pop flies at the pop flies, and I thought poor Jack was going to have a heart attack trying to catch as many balls as he was told to catch. And of course, there was always blitzers behind him to try to make certain if he missed it, he'd pick it up quickly for him. But the point was that Barry was, and the one thing, Barry was one coach. Who was up there talking about all the coaches that had? We had one, and Barry was with us with the one coach, and we had 14 guys on the team? Was that about it? 15 guys on the team? And if your arm was sore, guess what? It was the next guy up, and before you knew it, you had somebody pitching that did not realize that he was going to be pitching because you didn't have enough of a team to pitch to very many relief pitchers. But Barry would pitch practice for us, and we'd say, Barry, can you give me a few more sliders? Can you give me a curveball? And his arm would just be hanging out of the socket. And truly, this is the kind of coach he was. He was so dedicated to us that he brought that out in us. We didn't know what we couldn't do. We didn't know that we were a bunch of young guys, that we weren't stars. We were just a bunch of guys out there trying to play baseball. And Barry was out there dedicated to us to help us learn the game, and we became pretty darn good. We did well. We played against some very, very good teams, and some of the players we put against ended up being pro players. And it was a matter where we did not know, as I said, how good we could be. But he knew how good we could be. He invested in us. He made certain that we knew our positions well. He made certain we had confidence in ourselves. And what he also created was a camaraderie. And the camaraderie was extraordinary. There was no rivalry on the team. We didn't get in a boxing match and try to knock each other out. We're trying to figure out how to support one another because we didn't have enough somebody being knocked out and watching. So the camaraderie was extraordinary. But the one thing I'd like to show is the commitment we had to one another. And this is where I think sports means so much, and I think us in our 80s, I think we can attest to it. I look at the guys here. The commitment we had to one another extended to our families, extended to our communities, extended to each other, and extended to the lucky people that we were fortunate enough to get married to. And to Northeast, and the environment that you gave to us, and the incredible quality of the student body we had a chance to be with, we'll be forever grateful. And thank you, Go Rockets.
Staying with the theme of baseball, 1973 had a Rocket team that had something that many teams do not, and that was true chemistry. It doesn't hurt to have great athletes as well. This Rocket group took off the last half of the season, coming up 1 run short of a state championship. With the possibility of the best returning lineup on any baseball team in the city, Coach Leroy Singh viewed this season optimistically. Of course, we always hoped for a good season, but this year we have the material for a really outstanding ball club. Singh cited the strength of pitcher Bob Sampson as a key tool in winning games. He is a top line player, commented the head coach, and I wish I had 2 or 3 more like him. Another Rockout standout was third baseman Scott Bateva. The Rocket fielders looked to Scott for leadership, hard hitting, and speed in the infield. A fellow teammate best summed up his views on Scott when he said, "Bateva is probably the best all-around player in the entire city." Shortstop Doug Pillard also lived up to Singh's preseason expectation when he was singled out as a top-notch infielder. Singh summed up the opinions of the team and season by commenting, "Most of these boys have been playing together long enough to get some good hitting, pitching, catching, and quickness on the field to win ball games, and that's what we intend to do." After finishing the regular season strong, Northeast won the district championship with wins over Bellevue 12-1, Lincoln Southeast 5-3. Senior Marty Shields pitched a no-hitter to lead Northeast to a 2-0 victory over Omaha Rummel in the opening game of the state tournament. The championship game, again, was another close pitchers duel with the Rockets losing by that 1 run to Omaha South 2-1. The team members of this team, John Banders, Reg Burka, Chuck Biggs, Tom Herzl, Bill Hill, Mike Kowitsky, Stephen Morton, Jeff Obrick, Ken Polinsky, Doug Pillard, Bruce Reed, Bob Sampson, Marty Shields, Greg Smith, Jim Tomasic, Doug Bateva, Scott Bateva, Jim Woodside, and head coach Leroy Singh. When you come up, team, I've got Mike Kowitsky and Brad Singh who would like to speak on behalf of you, but please, all of you, will you recognize and welcome the 1973 state runner-up baseball team from the Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame.
Year 1973, and we had a real banner year for our class, 72-73. We took state in football, state in basketball, and then runners up in baseball. So we had a really good year. The baseball season was really exciting, and all the guys that are up here, to be honest, most of them contributed more than I did to the team. We have some really good players up here. But the thing that was so good about our team was that the guys that contributed a lot and the guys that didn't contribute quite as much, we all got along really good. And we were a team. And also, Terry Dopp was on that list too, of people that was read off further. And, but the thing that stands out the most in my mind was that everybody loved baseball. And back when we were all growing up, we all played. And back then the Little League were Little Chiefs. A lot of you probably remember Little Chiefs. And everybody wanted to play Little Chiefs. Then you went to City Rec. A lot of people went to American Legion Ball. And then you went and played for Northeast. And that's the order that you went in. But everybody loved baseball, and we all got along on a baseball team. And everybody was cheering for everybody else. And there was always people encouraging, cheering each other on. There wasn't jealousy, there wasn't resentment, there wasn't, oh, you're starting ahead of me, so I'm mad. It was all about the team. We all came with the same goals in mind of being as good a team as we could be. We all came with the same hope that we could go to state, we could win districts, and that was on our mind all the time. And so we all had the same aspirations, but we got along so good. Practices were fun. Coach Sang was a really good coach for our team. He kept the practices constructive, but they were also fun. And Coach Sang did a lot to encourage all of us to play. And it's too bad he can't be here now, but because he was a big influence on all of our lives. But he did a great job. But besides loving baseball and also getting along good, we loved being a Rocket. And we all wanted to play for the Rockets. We grew up wanting to be a Rocket. And a lot of people here played football. Some of us played basketball too. Several of us played basketball. But there was never a thought in our mind of going somewhere else. You know, we didn't want to go to that dreaded East. No way. And we knew we were going to beat these people. And Lincoln High and Southeast and those schools. There was never any mention of wanting to go to those places. Those were the enemies. You know, we had to beat them. And so we loved being a Rocket. And we wanted that N on our cap. That meant a lot to us. We were proud to be a Rocket, come from Northeast Lincoln. And we wanted to represent Northeast Lincoln well. We knew about the traditions. We had followed our older brothers, uncles, dads in some cases, that played at Northeast. And we wanted to continue that tradition. We wanted to be in line just like they were and do our part to help. And so we've got great memories from that time, but we've also had lifetime friendships that have come from that, like many people have mentioned, that no matter how much time has gone by, being on those teams still has influenced our life. When we see one another, we go back to those times and remember all those good moments. You know, going to Northeast and playing sports at Northeast gave us discipline, and it gave us sense of purpose, and it gave us goal setting, and helped us achieve a lot of team kind of things in our lives. And it's carried over to us all this time. And so, like last night at the basketball game, seeing everybody, we were really glad to see people come from a long ways away to come to the game last night, and to be honored tonight. So I think that saying of once a Rocket, always a Rocket never could be more true than it was for our guys, because we all feel that way, and we'll always be grateful for our chance to be Rockets and to do what we could to help the tradition of being a Rocket. So thank you very much.
I'm Brad Sang. My father Charles was the coach of the Rockets back in the day. Just like to thank you all for coming here. And Dad would be pretty humbled by and somewhat taken back by the attention. He had an outgoing personality, which I'm sure many of you got to experience. But when it came to personal achievements and awards, he was quite modest. he was more interested in the success of the team and the individuals on the team. He was never into self-promotion or glorification. He'd kind of go with the flow and take things in stride. But he would definitely let you know when he didn't like something. He grew up in the University Place neighborhood playing ball with the neighborhood kids. And many became lifelong friends, Bill Bowmaster, Leon Lear, and George Stevens, to name a few. I'm sure those memories developed his love and passion for the game. He continued to play for Northeast as a scrappy second baseman, and then on to Wesleyan, where he earned his teaching and coaching degree. I'm not sure if everyone knows that he started his coaching career at Wakefield, Nebraska. And we think it was like a 2-year stint, and then he came back to his alma mater, Northeast. One of the things I remember was his knowledge of the game. I remember being amazed by the adjustments and strategies in each game as a youngster watching from the dugout. Probably learning some things that I shouldn't have, but being I was 10 years old. But growing up, I remember it was kind of nice having a coach at our side, me and my brother. Dad coached Pee Wee baseball in Walton, Nebraska. One year they had a 12-0 record, outscoring the opponents 178-8. They must have some good pitchers. But I remember him, like Dad, keeping the book for all the games. Steve and I kind of took that over when we would go watch baseball games with Dad. But Steve remembers one of his last games. There was a Northeast batter hit a bullet to the first baseman. He made a miraculous play. The game was over. The baseball coaching career was over. And Steve knew something was up because he looked at Dad and there were tears in his eyes. We figure his passion for fishing had something to do with the retirement. And Steve remembers after one state semifinal game, Dad asked Mom if she had any money so he could take the team out to dinner. It must not have been a coach's allowance back then. And I got to enjoy Dad's knowledge of baseball later, watching games with him. He's kind of taking credit for that last Royals title. I got a couple funny stories. One time we were sitting down for dinner, Dad said, "Brad, I got a problem. My catcher throws it back harder than the pitch is coming in. What should I do?" Of course, I'm 10 years old. I'm like, "Is this like a trick question?" I said, "I don't know, maybe have the catcher become the pitcher." Well, I'm pretty sure Coach Sang didn't need his son to tell him what to do. He made the switch and the pitcher became an all-city pitcher. What I learned was that he always was looking to adapt and find ways to make his team better, which I'm sure everyone appreciated. One other time he was playing in Omaha and he felt like his pitcher was getting squeezed. The pitch came in. Dad yelled, "Where was it?" The umpire said, "Low." Dad said, "I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to my catcher. You haven't seen anything all night." He got tossed. He thinks that was like only 1 or 2 times that he got tossed. In closing, from what I could tell, everyone seemed to enjoy playing for Dad. I know Dad was proud to coach each and every one of you and call you Rockets. Thank you.
Thank you.
With all these great stories tonight and memories in this room, I feel so personally blessed to be up here and to listen and know that Rocket pride and tradition lives in so many hearts. As we look from the past, one thing that we've got to look forward to now is the future. As we continue to keep growing and building on the things and the foundation and blocks that you've laid. Out there, on behalf of the Northeast Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, our current high school, and all the people and stakeholders that support this great school, we want to thank you for coming. Please travel safe tonight as you head home, and thank you. Good night. Yes, on your tables, this will help our committee. There's a form on your table. If you have people that you would like to nominate, if you will fill that out, or if you would like to give a donation to our Athletic Hall of Fame or anything, that would be appreciated. But again, thank you for everything. I hope you've enjoyed your time here tonight. Have a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, once a year in athletics, we get to honor the best of the best from Northeast High School. This year, we have 8 individuals and 2 teams that'll be entering our Hall of Fame. Let's give a big round of applause to these athletes and representatives out on the court today. And now we'll introduce each individual and both teams here tonight, beginning with Matt Holt from the class of 1983. Matt was a multi-sport athlete at Northeast, excelling in football and swimming. Holt earned 3 letters in football and 3 in swimming. In football, he earned All-City and All-State honors his senior year and was selected to participate in the Shrine Bowl. He holds a school record for interceptions in a season with 10 and holds the record for career tackles with 303. Let's hear it for Matt Holt. From the class of 1986, Lynda Holt. Lynda Holt earned 5 letters, participating in swimming and track. As a sophomore, she placed in every track meet throwing the shot put and placed 2nd at the state track meet by beating her personal best by over a foot on her final throw. Her junior and senior years, she got 1st in every track meet. She won a gold medal at the state track meet her junior year. She was an all-city, all-conference, and all-state selection all 3 years. She set a school record that she held for 10 years. As a swimmer, she made it to state in the 50-yard individual freestyle and made the finals in the 4x100-yard freestyle relay. Let's hear it for Lynda Holt. From the class of 1998, Johnny Bell. Johnny was a basketball standout for the Rockets. His senior year, he earned Class A Super State 3rd-team honors, Class A All-State 2nd-team honors, and was 1st-team All-City selection. He was chosen as a member of the Nebraska Coaches Association All-Star Team. Let's hear it for Johnny Bell. From the class of 1999, Lisa Folsom. Lisa was a 2-sport athlete at Northeast. She earned 6 letters, 4 in softball and 2 in basketball. In softball, she was a 3-time All-City selection. As a senior, Lisa earned all-conference honors and was All-State honorable mention. She was a Sertoma Award winner and earned multiple academic all-conference awards. Let's hear it for Lisa Folsom. From the class of 2000, Justin Lanum. Justin was a football standout for Northeast, earning 3 letters. During his career, he earned All-City, All-Conference, All-State, and Super State honors. He was also selected to play in the Shrine Bowl. Let's hear it for Justin Lanum. From the class of 2012, Mollie McNeel. Mollie excelled at swimming for the Rockets. As a sophomore, she won a state championship in the 500-yard freestyle and set a school record. Her time for the race continues to rank among the top 10 fastest female swimmers in Nebraska high school history. Mollie also swam the butterfly leg of the relay team that broke and still holds the school's 200 medley relay record. Throughout her career, Mollie earned All-City, including honorary captain, All-Conference, and All-State honors. Let's hear it for Mollie McNeel. From the class of 2012, Ashton Steckelberg. Ashton was a two-sport athlete for the Rockets, excelling in softball and track, earning 8 letters in total. She was an All-City and All-Conference selection in softball. As a senior, she placed second in the Class A 100-meter hurdles and was a third-place finisher in the 300-meter hurdles. Ashton holds school records in the 55-meter hurdles, 100-meter hurdles, 300-meter hurdles, and the 4x400 relay. Let's hear it for Ashton Steckelberg. And this year's Hall of Honor honoree, Clegg. Curtis was the spirit boy at many Northeast football, volleyball, basketball, and baseball games during his time as a student at Northeast and after he graduated. He would even show up to many practices to watch and encourage the players to do their best. His fondest memories of cheering on the Rockets include being surrounded by the pep squad, the band, and fellow students to cheer on the team and celebrate the wins. Let's hear it, fans, for your Hall of Honor member, Clegg. And now for your team honorees. First up, the 1961 State Runner-Up Baseball Team. With a record of 4-4 the previous season, the 1961 baseball team posted 9 returning lettermen, 1 in each position. The opening game of the season was canceled by Omaha Cathedral. The second game was lost to Lincoln High, 10-3. Victory came in the charmed third try with a win over Lincoln Southeast, 10-9. During the state tournament semifinals, the Rockets defeated Omaha Holy Name 11-2. In the finals, Lincoln Southeast came from behind on a triple to defeat the Rockets 5-3 in extra innings. Skip Peterson and Earl Wright were named All-City, as there was not an All-State Team Honor Award that year. The team members for the 1961 State Runner-Up Baseball Team: Dean Anderson, Jack Calfee, Luke Cox, Stan Grell, Melvin Hester, Larry Hubka, Gene Jeffries, Dean Lepsack, Butch Lyon, Sidney McCartney, Stephen McMullen, Skip Peterson, Mikey Storr, Les Tiro, Earl Wright, and the head coach of that team, Coach Barry Moore, who is represented tonight by his daughter, Karen Peckmuller. Student managers for that team, Harold Conley and James Mason. Let's hear it for the 1961 State Runner-Up Baseball Team. And now, the 1973 State Runner-Up Baseball Team. The success or failure of a baseball team, like any organized activity, depends to a large degree on attitude, potential, and leadership. Northeast was fortunate enough to possess all 3 qualities to bring a well-rounded, experienced squad to the Diamond in 1973. With possibly the best returning lineup of any baseball team in the city, Coach Leroy Seng viewed the season optimistically. Coach Seng cited the strength of pitcher Bob Sampson as a key tool in winning games. Another Rocket standout was third baseman Scott Bottom. The Rocket fielders looked to Scott for leadership, hard hitting, and speed in the infield. This season started slowly with a few close early season losses. Fighting through the slow start, the team's experience began to emerge during the last half of the season, showing they could play with the best teams in the state. After finishing the regular season strong, Northeast won the district championship with wins over Bellevue and Lincoln Southeast. Senior Marty Shields pitched a no-hitter to lead Northeast to a 2-0 victory over Omaha Rummel in the opening game of the state tournament. The championship game was another close pitchers duel, with the Rockets losing to Omaha South 2-1. These are the members of the 1973 baseball team: John Benders, Reg Burka, Chuck Biggs, Terry Topp, Tom Herzl, Bill Hill, Mike Kowinski, Stephen Morton, Jeff Obrecht, Ken Polensky, Doug Billard, Bruce Reed, Bob Sampson, Marty Shields, Greg Smith, Jim Tomasek, Doug Vadova, Scott Vadova, and Jim Woodside. Head coach Leroy Seng, represented by his sons Brad and Steve Seng. Let's hear it for the 1973 State Runner-Up Baseball Team. And now, fans, let's honor the entire 2026 Hall of Fame inductee class. Congratulations.